common theme among the wild cards here at Barrett-Jackson is pop culture. When you throw that in the equation, you never know where the numbers are going to land. This could bring all the money. It's a screen-used Ferrari 308 from Magnum PI. The only thing more iconic than Tom Selleck's mustache was this car. But they don't have to be the real deal to capture your heart. Like this Land Rover Defender 90 Barbie edition. It is dripping in pink and white everywhere. Engine bay, interior, undercarriage, all pink and white. Or how about a cartoon car that never existed in real life until now? Yep, the Mach 5 from Speed Racer, based on a 1996 Corvette. Now the C4 Corvette is a great platform for this wild tri-tip body, buzzsaws and pogo stick jumping ability not included. And sometimes it's just a celebrity name attached that gets people excited. 1976 450 SL Mercedes, beautifully preserved in olive green everywhere. And it's being sold by none other than Will Ferrell, and I definitely say the era of Ron Burgundy. And perhaps the most Florida vehicle of them all, 1985 Gentry Turbo Eagle Scarab racing boat that was once piloted by the legend himself, Don Johnson, who defined 80s style in Miami Vice. What will they go for? We'll find out soon.
The Magnum PI Ferrari 308 from 1979. This is the car that was used in the original pilot, and it was used for part of the first season. Tom Selleck drove in this one.
April showed this one earlier. To fit Tom Selleck's 6'4" frame, the seat had to be dramatically lowered and the top come off like this, so he looked appropriate in the car. But the premise for the show, Magnum is solving crimes or mysteries as a detective, a PI in Hawaii, and some anonymous benefactor loaned him this car to drive around. He's always in a Hawaiian shirt, smirking at the camera, that iconic mustache as well. One of those just amazing shows of the 80s. And look at the bid, we're already about to $200,000.
Well, I'll tell you what, they've actually had to add phone lines, so they have the extra phone bidders. Look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 phone bidders in addition to the people bidding here in the room. So people around the world knew this car was happening, knew it was going to sell. Now, do you remember the Tom Cruise Porsche 928 from Risky Business? In many ways, this car is even more iconic. How many times have we seen the 308 sell and talk about, oh, this is like the one Thomas Magnum drove. But this is the car from the first season.
And it's believed to be the one used in the opening credits, doing that burnout stunt for every single episode. So it is a pretty significant car. There were several 308s used in the show, but this one used very early in the seasons. And this is a pretty cool car in itself. Carbureted V8 engine, gated manual transmission, Rosa Corsa red. They never used replicas like they did in Miami Vice. This was always the real deal in Magnum PI.
Yeah, and as you mentioned earlier, you know, the great scene at the beginning of the show when he peels out from the grass and goes onto the roadway, $260,000 the current bid, making this right now the #1 sale of the day.
Little known fact, the first couple of years of the 308 bodies were made of fiberglass, but they went to steel in 1977, I believe. This is not fiberglass, this is an actual steel 308.
All those phone bidders involved, but that young lady right there working with the one who seems to be the lead bidder, and we've still got somebody on the floor who's interested in it.
So if this were a normal Ferrari 308 without the Magnum PI provenance, it might be a six-figure car, just barely, but we are triple that just to say you have the one Tom Selleck drove in the first season of Magnum PI. This is so cool.
When we talk about, you know, celebrity provenance, what does it add? Well, this adds that great pop culture. If you grew up in the 80s, you knew who Tom Selleck was in Magnum PI, and you knew this car.
Not only that, but you probably tried to grow the mustache. Pretty much everybody in the 80s went for that Tom Selleck look.
Yeah, this isn't about the performance of this car. This is about the performance of this car on television. Remember, what did it run for, like 8 seasons or something like that, from the early 80s all the way through like 89 or something?
You say that, but these earlier carbureted cars were better performance than the later fuel injected.
$345,000 for the 1979 Ferrari 308 GTS that was used in Magnum PI. And that gentleman right there beat out all those phone bidders to come away with the star car, the one that Tom Selleck actually drove in both the pilot and part of the first season for Magnum PI. This is the one that April previewed for us, that custom 1999 Land Rover Defender 90, done up to look like a Barbie car. And guess what? This is another fantasy bid car.
Come on, Barbie, let's go party in a Range Rover. 2.5-liter inline 5-cylinder diesel, so a correct engine, not a swap on this one, but obviously everything Barbie on this one. The undercarriage is what I found just totally crazy. Everything pink and white, including the frame underneath as well. And you can see the oversized sort of modern Defender or Range Rover wheels, but this looks like a toy. It looks like it should be, you know, next to the Barbie Corvettes, but it's in real life right here on the block.
And this has something unusual, a 5-cylinder diesel under the hood. I believe this is probably a European spec. I don't think they sold these with the diesel in the States. Not sure. But that said, it has a diesel, a 5-cylinder diesel, not a 4, not a 6, it's a 5.
Of course, in the movie, the new movie, I should say, from 2023 about Barbie, their car was a 1956 Corvette. But let's say if there was going to be a sequel, this is what she'd probably be driving around in. It's put together by Epic Auto Restorations out of Phoenix. A lot of custom touches all over the place. And boy, look at the number, $200,000.
A pink and white interior is just wild, but it does have the correct sideways jump seats that you could get in the Defender of this period or a little bit older. So seating for 6 in here, but modern racing style bucket seats in the front, just quilted pink and white everywhere in there.
And disc brakes all around, stainless steel single exhaust system, will never rust.
Just sold to the Skybox. Hey, look, that gentleman's got almost a shirt that matches. I think she does have the shirt that matches. $210,000 for that Barbie-themed 1999 Land Rover Defender 90 Custom. Well, Speed Racer has arrived on the auction block. Okay, technically this is a 1996 Corvette, but you see the bodywork coming out of that great iconic TV show, the cartoon, and of course it became a live-action movie as well.
The C4 makes for a pretty good platform for the Mach 5. That tri-tip there, the headlights are underneath low and that yellow lenses, and this is all pretty correct. They even put a helmet on the driver to match Speed Racer. Pretty funny.
I see it makes use of the stock Corvette doors, stock interior, dash, everything, the suspension, of course, which is a fine thing. The LT1 has, 240 horsepower, 260 horsepower, something like that. Good power, push rods, fuel injected, plastic fins here, which kind of emulate, the Speed Racer. There you have it. LED taillights, dual exhaust, standard exhaust pipes in the Corvette here.
Speed Racer was a cartoon, I believe, Japanese animation. When I was watching as a kid, it was always weird because of the speech patterns, because they were translating from Japanese. They had to fit it in very closely with the way the mouth was moving, so they didn't really talk with their normal speech pattern.
So what's the original Japanese name of the show? Mach Go Go Go, not Speed Racer. That's what we call it. In a way, it goes to another owner.